Hello and welcome to this episode of Idiotsplaining. This is our bonus episode, and I guess this is more of a laid-back episode, I suppose. There's going to be very minimal editing for this one, so sorry if I absolutely butcher the entire show, but this one is more of a kind of what's going to be coming up for the rest of the year, because this is... well, I wouldn't say it's the midpoint of the season. It's definitely not the midpoint because of what's going to be happening throughout the rest of the year. And this is more of a kind of what's coming up sort of thing. And also a very quick story about the episode that you have watched or listened to. But also a very quick kind of story time on what you listened to in the Omnibus episode, which I'll go over now, actually. Might as well. The Omnibus episode almost didn't happen. It very almost didn't happen because the file was massive. So on Spreaker, there is a file limit that you can have. And I think the overall episode was, of course, it was 2 hours long. And the file itself on the quality that I usually put the podcast at was about 300 megabytes or something like that, like a little bit over, and it was too much over. So we had to put it in a new well, we didn't put it in a new format, but we put it in a new bitrate, and hopefully, fingers crossed, none of you noticed. I don't know why I said it, to be honest, but I hope none of you noticed. But that's a little story about the Omnibus episode. And speaking of episodes, here's what's coming up throughout the rest of the year. I feel like we're going to do these kind of year-by-year seasons rather than here's season 1, then here's season 2 in about 2 weeks, and then here's season 3. It doesn't really make sense. So, for September... obviously September's next week, and we are going to do back to school episodes. There'll be a back to school special, and there will be a Werq episode, don't worry, but there's going to be 4 episodes that are essentially going to be back to whatever, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it more, I think, considering that I've been through every single element kind of thing. I'm going to be covering primary school, secondary school, college, and I'm going to be covering Werq as well. And I know that September's only 4 or 5 weeks, but we're going to do 4 episodes. Of course, there will be a bonus episode in the middle, so technically it'll be going over 8 weeks. But that does coincide with the October special, which is the Halloween special. We're going to make Halloween the spookiest special that you'll ever hear, and it's going to be amazing. So we'll go over the history, we'll go over exactly, what our involvement is in Britain, because it's mainly an American holiday. But we'll go over various other countries and how they celebrate and things like that. And then in November, it will be back to normal. So it's just normal episodes, and it'll be all fine and dandy. We'll go over some of the bits that you wanted me to cover that I haven't covered yet, which may or may not include some special guests, potentially. We'll see. And then the final bit, of course, Christmas, the finale of this series will be Christmas. More on that a little bit later on when we get closer to the time. But that is my plan for the moment. So from next week, it'll be our back to school series. Then in October, it'll be our Halloween specials. November, we'll be back to normal. We're doing normal episodes. And then in December, it'll be our Christmas special. And then I think after the Christmas special, that will be it for season 1. Or potentially, we'll end it on a New Year's special. We'll have to wait and see, to be honest. In my brain, I'm thinking of all of these in my brain. It's getting there. It's getting there. But that's going to do it for this bonus. This was just going to be kind of an update to what we're going to do for the rest of the year, really. There's no bloopers because you heard all the bloopers in the Omnibus episode. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. Also, thank you so much for listening to the series so far. And a massive thank you, especially if you listened to when we were on introducing on BBC Introducing in Kent for the first episode. Thank you very much. I may give the other episodes to them as well, just to see if they'll play them. But we'll have to wait and see. And I think that's it. I think the competition, the British Podcast Awards, I think they're closed now. So or they've only got a few days left. So you can still check the link, see if you're able to vote for us in the Listener's Choice Award. And yeah, have a good week. I will see you next week for the very first episode in our school special, in our back to school special. Again, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you haven't heard the older episodes, you can listen to the Omnibus episode, which was released last week, or you can go back and listen to episodes 1 through 6 whenever you like, and each episode is about 15 minutes long anyway, so it's not going to take that long to get through. But have a fantastic week. I'll see you next week.